acknowledge that either that one, you were sort of taking advantage of something that a lot of other guys couldn't, and then I guess two, instead of owning that, you kind of put that blame on guys who more than likely couldn't operate the way you did. And so I'm kind of basing it on a phenomena like that. And so I'm kind of basing it
A dude went into the refrigerator, opened up all of the cans of beer, drunk for a little bit from all of them, and then got the only the only drink of orange juice and took that with him, and then wonder why everybody else isn't drinking beer. Hey man, it's good beers in there.
It's like, yeah, like, bro, is something going on with these beers? And he's like,
That's
no, the beers are fine. You just don't get no beers.
hey, Wayne, they just describe Rick.
What?
So about a person take one sip of beer and leave the whole rest of the beer behind and be like, "Oh, you ain't gonna drink the beer. I ain't got AIDS." Yeah, they describing Rick. We don't drink after Rick either.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. It's just it's a weird
it,
weird situation
it,
out
it,
here.
it's not weird, bro. Like, I understand players' remorse, right, or players' regret. I don't have it. I think it's dumb, but I understand it, right? Because it comes from a place of man hate, right? The people who have the most player regret were the most effed up kids ever. Dumb jocks, Arthur Fonzarelli, Alley Mechanics. You know what I mean? Th- there's no standard for women, so there's no good women, or there's no bad women, because all women are good, right? Because the girl with two master's degrees will still marry a dude on parole. So all women are just women. All girls are dumb. But
You, you,
the guys who believe in that, it's because they kind of hate themselves, and then as an outward thing, they hate men, and they think that their manhood is based on a woman. They got a good woman, so they must be a good man. They got validated by the man. I mean, by the woman rather. And those dudes will kill you over a girl. I don't listen to them, so I don't concern myself. But
you,
I will say this though, and me and my friends talk about this all the time. In 2010, my dad told me to get married, right? And I'll never forget the conversation. He was like, "Yo, son, I want grandkids." I'm like, "Yo, you want me to hit a girl raw? No problem, Pop. I got you. It ain't nothing." He like, "No, no, 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 no. I want a daughter-in-law too. I want you to get married." I say, "Oh, you want me to get married and have a kid?" I said, "I'll work on it, Pop. It ain't nothing." You know what I mean? Because I'm getting girls like a mofo. I'm like, "All right, cool." So for the first time in my life, in 2010, I listened to girls talk. And it was like needles in my brain, and I went crazy. I went dark. I went dark. So think about somebody who never. I didn't listen to my mother. I mean, I respected my mom, but I know when she say my first and middle name, she want me to take out the garbage or something. Nothing else she talking about matter. I just kind of, God bless you with the white noise, so you don't hear anything except perfect silence and things breaking. I was moving off that. I was operating off that. I understood that girls didn't care about anything I had to say. They just wanted me to listen to them for 45 minutes until they was like, "I felt like I knew you my whole life." They don't really care about my life. And I'll listen for, well, I wouldn't listen, but I'll put them on mute for 45 minutes until they say that, and then I'll go smash, right? I didn't have to listen to girls because girls don't say anything worth listening to. So for 1 year, for 18 months, between December of 2009 when my dad told me that, and maybe August of 2011, I listened to, I don't know, 14 women, 16 women. In the course of that time, bro, I went from no kids to, bro, like 11 abortions, nigga. My boy Brian still cracking jokes. Like, nigga, you went to Facebook with no kids, nigga, came out, nigga, 100 kids. I'm like, bro, it ain't my fault. So, like, because I was trying to get my dad a grandkid, but it didn't work out because I was like, my dad wanted a grandkid, and it was like, "Oh, you want to keep the kid?" And they get an abortion. It ain't nothing. So, because they hate family, but nobody wants to talk about that, right?
dirty. It sound like you confessing, man.
I ain't confessing. I'm just telling. I'm testifying. It ain't no confession.
I do have a question for you, dog, Dirty, and I'm not talking about you in particular. It's not. I really do want to get your opinion on this. Um, a lot of times, when I'm taking notes on a lot of things that I've been listening to within the manosphere and the anti-manosphere, and all the different places where a lot of Black people tend to hang out online. Ultimately, a situation will come up where people will ask for some sort of solution, right?
Okay.
And I would say 8 out of 10 times, someone is going to say, well, I don't understand what the problem is. I did this. I was born this way. I was raised to do it this way. What happened to me is this such a, and I'm just in my little peon brain, Dirty. I'm thinking to myself, what are you really saying? Are you saying that everyone else should break the time continuum and jump into some sort of time machine and go back and live life as this person did, and so they can have all of the experiences and the exact same trials and tribulations and successes and everything? Because
hold it there, so hopefully you ain't got to go through that. No, that's not at all.
Giving that as a solution doesn't seem like it makes any sense.
No, first of all, people get a testimony so you don't go through it, but that's not even my point. The point of me telling that particular story was the same thing that make you laugh, make you cry. The same thing that made me say, yo, I'm at like 950 girls because girls are dumb. Then when you want to settle down, you're like, damn, I can't settle down because girls are dumb. Like, you can't be mad about the same thing that you took advantage of. That's a personal growth type of thing, right? So then you have to say, well, man, what makes it unfeasible? And then you say, because here's the biggest problem with Black relationships, it's Black men, but not Black men because they dog women out. Black men because men will defend the woman at the detriment of the man, and that's not how you commune in unity. So Black men are the biggest reason that communities break down, because they're very selfish about thinking that everything is about their own particular nuclear family.
Okay.
Not only that, you know what? An observation I've noticed is the guys, the so-called players, are the biggest capes and simps as well. And it's such a weird phenomenon. It's like
somebody
as much as, and I guess it's a farming situation, but it's like as much as you take advantage of the frailty of women, you will defend women when their frailty gets them into a gym, or when a man points out their obvious issues.
Not even that. You look, the amount of men that will try to delete Hoodservative, right? Because Hood said some stuff that made his baby mama feelings hurt, and she go tell her brother, and she crying like he hurt my feelings, like I'ma beat Hood up. That's a false equivalent. That's not how the law works, sir. That's not how Alpha I works. Everybody got to die because my sister crying. No, they do not. You better get her a tissue and talk with her. You know what I'm saying? I cry, we cry together. Like, nobody enforces the matriarchal slavery more than Black men. Then they complain about the matriarchal slavery.
Here's my working theory, and thanks for having me on. By the way, Hood.
Don Escalon, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
hey, what's going on, Don? It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm glad you took the floor. Go ahead, you got it, bro.
What's going on, SKC? My working theory is this, man. When you were talking about I remember the psychological term, we called it transference, but you called it something else. If you don't mind filling in the blank of the term that you called it.
Projection, maybe.
Well, you're saying that the guy what's his name, HB, who's usually on Stanley's thing, is doing this thing where you call it whatever, transference. My working theory is this: people who
transparency.
No,
he has a transference. You got it.
Transference. People who,
all right, transference.
People who do that usually, and my personal experience, and here I am putting the I in this, but it's because they have left a trail of baby mamas that they wish that some man would pick the tab up for. In my experience.
That's
or maybe it's not even that they left a trail of baby mamas, but they left a trail of broken women that they expect dudes like you or other men to come and pick the pieces up for.
Hey,
No,
can I present something to the screen with that what you just said? Because I was literally looking at something like you said what I was about to say. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that 1986 teenage single mom documentary? You know, one from New Jersey when the chicks was asked, "Do you want to be with your child's father?" Y'all remember that?
That was
I
Donahue.
do.
Yeah, it was Donahue.
That was Donahue. All right. So Mr. Donahue interviewed Timothy. Y'all remember Timothy?
Yeah, man.
Can I put it in the back check so we can look at Timothy real quick?
But
This is what
okay,
you talking about.
so while you do that though, let me correct what he said. It's not because they want men to heal the broken hearts that they made. Because
Oh,
girls
I'm not
can't
talking
love.
about men. I'm not saying men. I'm saying what those men like because they're doing the transference. Because me, m- I haven't done what they've done. They want to put it on me, the person who hasn't done what they've done.
Now, I get that. That's the black man experience. If one dude does a crime, all black men are criminals. I get that part. The
Right.
here's what it.
I'll say it even goes. I'll say it even goes further than that. It's to piggyback on what Don is stating. The transference of, oh, hey, yeah, I did all of that. That's behind me now. But you guys need to this. Now's the time to band together and turn this thing around. It's like, no,
I got you. I got you. SKC,
like,
I got you. You're not the moral police to say that. I got you, but that's hubris because all girls are sluts first. Let me explain something to you.
Yes.
No. It's not even about the girls. It's not.
No,
even about the girls
no. It's always about the girls because they blame the men, right?
Yep.
No. That's not the argument that I'm making.
Okay. Here's no. When they say, "Yo, I did my fun," men need to step up. They're really trying to save the women by proxy of other men.
Or their daughters, which
or they daughters, right? But it has nothing to do with that because every girl that catch a girl, every game a catch a girl, kiss a girl, house and doctor was girls. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. Was girls. It wasn't boys. Boys don't even like girls until puberty. Girls is like 8 years old. Like, show me yours, I'll show you mine. Like, girls are hypersexual. It has nothing to do with uncles touching them. They're from 2-parent households, all type of stuff. They just naturally are more sexually adept younger than boys are, right? They introduce boys to stuff and then they turn 15 like icky poo. Boys just want one thing. They got that from other women.
Because Sigmund Freud said this, or his sick perverted ass. Then he said this and conclude to this theory.
What, that every man want to sleep with their mom and kill their
No.
dad?
The little girls are already predisposed to be more sexually explorative than boys at an earlier age.
But once you do that, then you know you can't corrupt a girl because she was already corrupted. There is no
they're
girl.
born corrupted.
I think there's a caveat to that. I think what we've learned from like research is that girls who have a male parental figure, a father at home, they will be a little bit less sexually. They will they menstruate later, so they would more than likely be a little bit less sexually aggressive as opposed to girls who have no father around. So their sexual cycle in life would start a little bit younger.
I agree with that. Here's the flip side of that. And I've been with girls like that. I worked my ass off, nigga, to be with this girl who kept saying, no, I can't do it because my dad, nigga, I sucked titties for 45 minutes. My jaws hurt. She would not pull up hands down. My daddy said, boom, there's your father argument. I grant you that. I had the best hand job ever from a girl who was a virgin. I tried to slide in. I hit the hymen. She gave me a jag off. I said, damn, you're going to be the Virgin Mary for real. Because if you get pregnant, I ain't even hit. But I jagged all on the lip. Like, I get it. Fathers are important. But those girls aren't. They're freaky, but they're not promiscuous, right? So
do you see what I mean when I say, like, aren't you guilty of what it is that we're talking about?
No.
When you're saying you turned out all these virgins.
I didn't turn out anybody. I didn't say I turned out either one of them. I said I
Hey, did she show up? Hey, did she show up?
bro, I didn't turn on anybody. They all resisted me, bro. They
No.
fought it.
Hey,
So
when
I
she
didn't turn on
asked,
anybody.
no, when a virgin asked to get her virginity took, then she show up.
Bro, I've had a
I'm
girl
just
who
saying.
when I was 11 years old, I had an older woman. She was 13, and she was like, "Man, I'm just trying to get my cherry popped and get it out the way." That had nothing to do with me. She chose me. Like
Right.
there's no the girls that I were with that were virgins. I never penetrated.
No,
I
I'm
never.
just saying, like the ones that we say are the quote unquote good girls. Like, oh no, that's a
There
good
are
girl.
No good girls in Chicago.
every
There are no good
every
girls, bro.
See,
every girl a
this
good
is
girl.
a
Well, hold
regional.
on. Even dirty. I think what we're pointing out, though, what you just alluded to, is that the girls who have fathers, which is probably an increasing minimum, they have a limit. You know,
And
they
that's
are
what I'm
sexually
saying.
explorative because girls
It's
all girls and boys are sexually explorative, but they had a limit because daddy said they don't want to get
Hey,
that whatever
And
happens at home.
that's what
it's
that's
smaller
all
than
I'm
that.
saying.
Ephemeral.
And that's all I'm saying, bro. And I respected it because if you don't
Right.
respect it, then you get a felony. You know, there's laws against not respecting that, right? But but I respected that. And what ends up happening, the thing is that people believe that they were with women. There is no man who was with multiple women that had a virgin. She had been with somebody. All girls said they only been with 3 guys and they had sex in 6 months. That's what they all say, bro. But they all been with 100,000 men, bro. Like, bro, I was literally with a girl who told me she only had 3 boyfriends and one that was her baby daddy, bro. I swear to God, I was. And her best friend said, I'm smashing the girl, so I know I'm number 4, but she ain't counting me, right? And her best friend came up from St. Louis and was like, "This your man or your buddy?" She was like, "This is my bestie." And she was like, "Yo, girl, remember we was trying to be G and we let them 26 niggas run the train on us?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But her story is, man, you the only 4th guy I've been with. Like, bro, there is no good girl. Girls just can't count. There's no good girl. There's no dude that turned out a woman.
Look, the last batch of good girls was probably I'll say like mid Gen X, and they was horrible. That's and the reason why I say that compared to millennial and Gen Z girls, these Gen X women are damn near fucking nuns. So taking the context and
Yo, can I say something real quick? If
Go
you
ahead.
don't mind if I can interject.
Go ahead.
The problem I'm having with this discussion is that it kind of rejects. I wonder what Hood would think about this. It kind of rejects human nature and female agency. There are no good women, just like there are no good men. It's what will the society allow and what can people get away with? That's human nature, right? There's this kind of prevailing idea that these women are sugar spice and everything. No, these bitches are hoes. They all want to get their hoes filled. That's why I kind of scoff over time at the idea of men saying that the women overseas are different. No, the fuck they aren't. Some of them are whores by trade because they have to. They're bigger sluts than the women over here. And as soon as they come
I
over here,
honestly do believe that
they
when
come over
some
here.
women are
Wait, hold on,
actually
let me finish.
want to
Wait,
be
let
hoes,
me
though.
finish.
Go ahead. Go
As soon as you give a woman overseas that opportunity to come over here and act like a fool, that's what she does. So like these women have female agency. They want to be hoes. They want to get their hoes filled. That's what they want to do. So putting the onus on men is stupid because women have agency. They want to get fucked just like men want to fuck. It's human nature, bro. Like I just all these extracurricular conversations about being good women in the false society. Look, man, it comes down to two issues, man. They're human beings, and what can people get away with? And we're just in a society at the point now women can get away with more, so they do. There's no good women, bro. It never happened. They were never
again. I think that's a cultural thing because it's like that's an American woman, or I would say not American. I would say it's a Western woman phenomenon. Like I'm married,
They're hoes
SKC's married,
overseas too, bro. They're
and
hoes overseas too, bro.
and you don't hear us complaining about our women being overly sexualized because like culturally they weren't like that.
Yes,
I'm
they
sorry to speak. I'm
were.
sorry to speak for you,
Yes, they
SKC.
were.
I
Yes,
speak
they
for myself.
were. You're
Yes,
not even
they were,
speaking
bro.
yourself.
Hold on. One at a time. Let him finish it all,
Wait,
then you can
let
jump on him.
me respond to
Yeah,
him, and then I'll shut up.
because
Hold on, Don. Finish your point. Don, finish your
okay.
point, please.
Because here's the difference between myself and you. I married a virgin, straight
Lucky
out.
bastard.
Yeah, I married a virgin. I married someone who was what you call orthodox in religion,
Orthodox
like
Christian.
and yes,
Same,
Ethiopian Orthodox. Go
same,
ahead.
Oh,
Let
that's
me
even
get
better. You lucky bastard.
same
I don't
here,
know. I
Don.
don't know.
Same here, Don.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, but I
Let's
was
hold
saying.
our jealousy. Let's all hold our jealousy. Let him finish.
I've been
So
Let me
listening.
respond after you finish.
and I hate to interject the I, but what I'm trying to say here is culturally there are different women on earth, and which is why I get the SYSBM plight, because it's like you don't have to settle for the Chicago runaround. You know what I mean? You don't have to do that, but you do have to get yourself right before you try to dabble into other cultures so you don't spread the same cancer that we complain about every day.
Okay, I have.
Yeah,
wait,
now you just made it about men. No, you don't. You don't have to.
Let me
It's
respond
all
to my-
Jermaine's fault, even when you go to Africa.
Man,
never
they
said
just
it's
Hold on,
Jermaine's
real
fault.
quick,
I never said it's Jermaine's
real quick.
fault.
Kid, you wanted to respond. You wanted to
Yeah,
respond, Kid.
because SKC talked about how we have these discussions and people can't kind of take themselves out of it. But whenever we have these discussions, that dude who just spoke in SKC always talking about how they made it, how they got that, they got their safe haven and they made it. But good for them. But I grew up in the church. Some of the biggest whores were church girls. Some of the biggest sluts
Still
were
are.
church girls. What are we
Still
talking
are.
about? What are we
It still
talking
are.
about?
But response.
And wait, let me finish.
Okay.
And just because you got a virgin, okay, you got her before she got a chance to, to exercise her options. But just because you didn't get her to be a slut, don't mean she wouldn't have been a slut with somebody else.
And it don't mean that she not cheating. You know how many married
So-
women I've been. Look,
Right.
Don, respond.
not
Respond.
making-
Don, you
making-
get final response, and not anybody else chomping at the bit. Don.
Okay, response. Like my woman comes from a long line of families, though,
I was about to
and
say
a track record of.
Oh, what? So did I.
Okay.
Bro,
Okay.
I'm the
Hold on,
only man. that-
finish your point, Don.
Can I-
Finish your point.
Okay. Good.
Go ahead.
Don.
Go ahead.
That don't divorce. Sorry, did I cut out?
You did
Yeah,
cut
you
out
did.
for a
You
second.
did.
Start
You
over. We only heard something about don't divorce. Start over.
Okay. So what I was saying is, when you come from a long line of families that
I was under the weather and shit, so I'm just
Hold on. Somebody's got to mute up. Somebody's got to mute up. Hold on. What's going on here? Don, mic check. Because we lost Don for a second, then we got some interference.
Hey, I'm back.
Don.
It's the damn Bluetooth headphones. My bad.
All right, start over, Don.
So when you come from a culture of families that it's expected for you to get married, and you have to like for me and when I got married to my wife, I had to first meet her father, and her father had to approve of me, because even though I'm American and I make more, I on paper make more money than the father, he's like the Donald Trump of Ethiopia. And so I still had to, even though I'm American, culturally bend backwards over for this dude to impress him so he can give me his daughter. And so what I'm saying is my wife and I didn't date, which is an American culture. Americans date, whereas I courted my wife to get to her father so he can give me
Let me
Does that
jump
make
in
sense?
right there. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, but this is why you're going to get all the pushback that I'm about to let. I'm going to open the floodgates, but this is why you and SKC both effectively went outside of the basic American system. Because I've spoken to SKC about this, and he's got something of a parallel kind of situation. Dirty folks, you want to?
No, okay. Here's the thing, bro. There's nothing that he said that really affects anything. I'm the first male in my family since 1890 not to be married. All of my older cousins, all my uncles, my dad, everybody's been married. That has absolutely nothing to do with the culture that's prescribed at that point in time, bro. Like when you go overseas, you got a lot of dudes talking about overseas women are more submissive, and they just hookers. Like, look, there is no point in time,
bro.
There is no point in time.
Hey,
like,
someone got a whole bunch of background though. Real talk.
Yeah, I was gonna say someone got mute up.
Oh yeah, because I got
Dirty. You in a group full of niggas, ain't you?
Yeah, we drinking tequila, but there's no time in which, because here's the thing, when you say, man, you having to to impress her father is a her thing. It's not a father thing because she could have popped it on.
No,
Yeah, it is.
no,
No, see, here you go. Wait. That's
no,
hubris. That's hubris in your voice, bro. Because there's a lot of popping on preach.
no,
There's a
No,
no.
lot.
You don't get it.
no,
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 One
no,
at
no,
a
no,
Dirty.
no,
time.
Look,
One
no,
at a
no, no,
time.
no, no.
Dirty
Dirty,
folks, finish the point. You
go
said
ahead.
something about father thing, and then start
Right.
over at father
I
thing.
know that. No, him having to impress the father is the respect she has for her father. There's a lot of pop it on preach girls out here. My family is full of girls from two-parent households who did their thing and took Plan B pills and then ended up married later. Like that has absolutely nothing. Her respect for her father is admirable, and I love that. I love the fact that you
I,
have a patriarch to help you deal with
yeah.
your wife. But that is a her thing, bro, based on how she
I
was
mean,
raised.
it's deeper than that though. Because
No,
what
no,
I
no,
want to
no,
say
no.
is,
Ain't no deep, bro. You know how many girls I know who know their biological father, their biological grandfather, sometimes their great grandfather, and they hoes. And I go to
but
Bro,
look,
Thanksgiving dinner with them.
but
And
look, Dirty. That's the bare minimum. To know your father is the
no,
bare minimum.
no, to
It's
respect.
the
So I
bare
said I gave
minimum.
you credit for her respecting dad. I'm saying there's a lot of girls with dads. They be like, and with great, all of them got degrees. Every girl I fuck with got degrees, and they
Right, but
all.
respect is even the minimum. But
No,
even
no,
respecting your
but
father is the
respect is what
minimum.
you're talking about. No,
Right.
it's not the minimum. The minimum is shit. Do what the fuck you want to do,
I mean, I
which is
think you're
what they
talking
do.
about a wide cultural chasm, really. It's not the dad individually, it's just the culture of the dad, and that's
That is a
missing.
social pressure then.
simp
And,
dad.
and if you're talking about social pressure, then the social pressure, everybody succumbs to peer pressure, right? And I'm
No.
cool with
Not everybody.
come on,
No.
man.
Well,
Yeah,
no. That's actually the phenomenon. No, the majority of, like, even in Black America, like the good girl idea. Like, yes, there are a minority amount of Black women who do not give in to the overall matriarchal culture. I don't need a man. This nigga ain't shit. I could do what I want. The amount of Black women who are like that we produce in a generation seems to be going down every generation or every year or whatever. But the social pressure is there. Most people give in to social pressure.
the fact that everybody want a pair of Jordans is social pressure, bro. Like there's social pressure to every element of your life, bro, because everybody wants to be accepted. SKC said something that was very he said the right thing for the wrong reason, but I'm gonna roll with him, give him credit, even though I know he was like, nah. He was like, yo, he doesn't see bro code outside of gangs. And I thought about it for a minute because I'm in frats, I'm in lodges, and I'm in gangs, and I'm in troops. I was a Boy Scout too.
Me too.
And I could say my fraternal brother, my Masonic brothers, they still will sell you out over a girl. It was
Yeah.
only the gang dudes that will violate you for doing dumb shit that would take away from what it is that we trying to do. Like there is there. I don't care what you know about it, I'm telling you.
Well,
There,
because they're
there,
wacky with the pole, I
right, yeah,
mean,
they'll light a match, they'll do whatever to let you know this is not socially acceptable, bro. You can't do that because we a special group of people that operate in such a way. Like
And
when
look,
you're
Don,
You
no,
know, Dirty,
the thread,
to me,
the
oh,
thread
go
though,
ahead.
Don, and it's a broken thread, but the thread that I think we're trying to tie together these two positions is that gang culture, as misguided and imperfect as it may be, it has that one element of, like, the men have to be sort of above the women. We have to be together above the women. That's the only way to maintain order. And that's what you got when you go over to these other cultures where you have this extreme patriarchal
Yes.
social culture, right? And so there's that one thing. And so we were tying it together with the gang culture because obviously there's flaws in it, but it exists in that way.
Can I say
there's
something real
We could
quick?
call it gang or we could call it tribe. Go for it.
you
Can
can
I
call
say
it
something real
trap.
quick? Like, I think something that
a
encapsulates
clan.
my point the best way is to look at Islam, right? Islam has like really hard restrictions on what their women do right overseas and how they behave, and this extreme social
Not just
consequences
Islam, but yeah.
depending on where you live.
Yeah.
There's extreme social consequences for acting a certain way, right?
Yo, this is
That
true. I
doesn't
got the Muslims
that
standing in my
doesn't
hotel right
that
now.
doesn't mean the women are good or they don't want to do what the women overseas are doing. They just can't, right? Because the moment that you take that social pressure off or those constraints off, and they move to countries like Europe, London, America, they go rogue, right? So something interesting I saw. I was watching porn the other day, right? Great way to open the conversation. You know what I saw? I saw a lot of bitches in Morocco, you know, traditionally Islamic countries in burqas, twerking it, busting it down, hiding their face, getting it in. There are women everywhere, bro. Like this idea that they're good and I got a good one. No, you just got somebody that was in the consequences of her being a hoe do not trump her not doing that, right? She has there's an incentive for her to not be that way. If you remove that incentive, it's a wrap. I don't know why this is so hard to accept. That's simple.
It's hard. No, it's no. He's right.
Continue, right. Please, man. I just have to. I gotta take more notes.
He's right, but no. You're right. You're right, but they won't give you credit because they have to be the only good man. Look, here's the thing, bro. There's a hubris in all men. Even the whole discussion about whole remorse, right? Or player remorse. There's a hubris in all men that I'm so cold that I'm the one that made that happen. No. No.
You know what I meant when I said
you're the only good man. You the only
good man. Look, you was just at the right place at the right time with the right line and got a lifetime contract.
Like you outdid Adam. You had a better chick than Adam.
By the way, they hold in Japan too. You ask the Japanese man, there's a big tricking coach over there. So nice try.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is this, because you're talking about tricks and this and that. What I'm saying is, in the world's a big place, and the world is bigger than tricks, you know, and easy women. I'm just saying, like, culturally, in other places, because you reference Islam being the only place or one of the few places that you see today where the women have a obligation to be a certain way, whereas when I'm talking about, like, in places like Ethiopia or Egypt or different places in Africa, you still have to abide by those cultural orthodoxies.
Yeah, no, man, not to the same degree.
And if we were to talk this way amongst the men in my family, I would be catching an ass whooping, an African ashy foot ass whooping amongst other men, is what I'm saying. So I'm saying culturally, this is something that's a phenomenon of the West.
But aren't they Islamic in Ethiopia? I said that.
No, they got Orthodox.
There are, but you alluded to it just being Islam, and I'm like, nah, like, no, I didn't Orthodox
say
Ethiopians.
Okay, so wait.
Oh,
so
hold on, just a moment. Man. I just okay. Good grief, man.
No. So here's my question. All the
wait. No, SKC is co-hosting tonight, so let
I know. I thought he was taking a pause. He was trying to think because I've been
because this is the thing. There's this concept out there that's called math, and I know that Das Community hates math because it's empirical and everything. But let's say you had someone like Kid Styles, and let's say that from the time that he came out of the womb till the day that he dropped, let's say it was 70 years, and from all of those 70 years, that's what if you were to convert that into minutes, 39,447 minutes.
Okay.
And let's say every one of those minutes he was going through all of the stuff that he enjoys looking at on the net and looking at and every minute he changed. Every minute he went to another woman, for 75 years.
Oh my God, what's your point?
And that's disingenuous.
The point of it is, if you did that for 75 years, that wouldn't even represent 1% of the population of women on Earth. But yet you want to make a a bold claim as
Straw man
based on
argument.
what all of the stuff that I didn't see on the
No. Okay,
Straw man
let me,
argument.
wait. No.
That's a straw man argument.
Wait,
That's a straw man argument.
Not only is
That's
a straw man argument.
That's the
Not
argument I
only is
made.
Not,
That's a
wait,
straw
wait.
man argument.
Calm down, everybody. Calm down,
Not only is it a straw man
As per
argument.
usual,
I'll let
you
him have a straw man
nigga,
argument.
you wrong.
Wait. No. Here's the issue.
One at a time.
Here's
though.
a-
Just
here's
because
the
you laugh
issue
at a
with-
joke don't mean you right, SKC.
Wait.
He's
Here's the issue, and I don't know the gentleman who was talking before SKC, but he hit on it. Look, women only do what men allow. So
Thank you.
if I'm in Ethiopia, I have to follow Ethiopian laws, rules, and customs. But in America, I done smash a lot of Senegalese, Ethiopian, Nigerian, Jamaican, Haitian
Bing
chicks.
bong.
because girls are gonna be girls wherever girls are sold. Now, when
did you just not hear the argument, dirty folks?
I heard the argument,
Like,
he said,
I'm gonna use the same argument towards you, dirty folks. Let's say dirty folks from the day that he dropped out of the womb.
Don't
Every minute of his life,
don't
and
fall
we
into
count
his trap.
every
Don't listen to this.
minute.
Disregard what he's
Every
saying.
minute he came across and met a woman. Every minute till the day that he dropped for 75 years. Even if he did that with all of his grand experience, he's not even talking about. He hasn't even seen 1% of the
wait. But
he hasn't even interacted with 1%.
No. That doesn't matter.
Let me step in. Hold on, real quick. Let me step in. Kid Styles. You want to respond? The dirty folks looking after Kid.
Before you step in,
Wait, dude, let me respond to him. He's talking about me.
Here's the thing. He said dirty folks. Here's the thing.
Hold on. No, Kid Styles. I want a Kid to go first because Dirty was just talking. Dirty was just talking. Let Kid take a second. Like Dirty jumping after Kid.
I'm not talking about me and women I'm having sex with. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm simply talking about human nature. That's what I'm talking about. And all I've said, despite his straw man argument, is that women only do what they can get away with. So if you are dealing with a woman that's not doing a certain thing, she's obviously in a situation where she can't get away with it. But if she can, human nature dictates more often than not, she'll take that opportunity. There's a famous clip on YouTube where you got these women who are from Syria, wherever they are, and there's this feminist reporter asking about how the treatment of the men and don't you want to be free and have feminism? And she was like, yes, I'd like to do all things you guys doing. And you see a truck full of Islamic niggas pulling up with these demon faces on. And he says, oh, I gotta leave, I gotta run, because she can't get away with it. But if she could, she would. That's all I'm saying. That don't mean that every woman that can is going to cheat on you. I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
I know
No. Wait. Let me explain to you how math works.
You don't want to accept the fact.
No.
Sugar spice and everything nice. That ain't my problem.
Wait. I know that you think you Asian because you fucking an Asian girl, but look, math is universal all the way around. You're counting by ones, and that's part of math. But there's also such things as exponentials, right? So if I sleep with a girl, there's 20 of.
I know it always has to come down.
No, because you know, I'm not being personal. You said colors. No. You said colors don't understand math.
They don't.
I know women don't. Okay, so you're exempting yourself from colors. So I'm calling you Asian because you're using math.
No,
so let me tell you. Let me help you with math though. Let me help you. No. I don't care what you're saying. Exponentially, right? Exponentially. If I was with every girl that I wanted to be with from the day I woke up to the day I went to sleep, I got 18 friends who could also be with every girl they want to be with from the day they wake up to the day they go to sleep. And I know that, man, I'm not the first or the last she gonna be with. So it's not 1%. I only been with 1% by your analogy, but she's been with fucking 20 because we all comparing notes about the same girl.
That's not by my logic. What I was saying.
I want the response. Hold on.
That's not by my logic.
I'm gonna move the floor to somebody else after this. By the way,
my reason for arguing in absurdum was that it is obvious that no human man on planet Earth would be able to, from the day that they were born to 75 years later till they drop, come across 39.7 million women.
I agree.
And since even if that were the case, if one were to do that, that wouldn't even represent 1% of the population.
I
It's like,
agree with
good grief. So
I
we
agree
know
with
that the number, we know that the
No,
number
we
that
do
you
not
came
know
up,
that.
we know that the
No,
number that
no, we don't know
that Kid Styles came up is exponentially smaller than all of that.
What
The
number
human
did I
being.
use? I never
Wait,
used
wait,
numbers.
It's like, what are we?
wait,
It's like,
wait.
so
No,
so
no, I got
all of
this.
these,
Wait, I
so
got
all
this.
of the
No, I got this.
conversation.
I
Quiet,
never brought
quiet,
up a
quiet
number.
for a
Hey,
second.
no,
Hold on,
no,
quiet
no,
for
No,
a
I
second,
got this.
please.
I never brought up a
I
number.
got
Quiet
this.
for a second, please,
No,
please,
no. I
gentlemen.
got
Let
this.
me. No,
I got
I want to step in because I don't want. We're getting bogged into a little argument, and I want to
no,
move the floor
no.
to somebody else. So I want to
Okay,
say
we can
one
move
last
around,
thing.
but let me say this.
I
Though.
want to hold on,
Okay,
dirty folks, please. I want to say one
go
thing
ahead.
about
Go ahead.
this and sort of Bigfoot this whole conversation because I actually disagree with SKC wholeheartedly on this, and I want to say why. And I'm going to pass the floor to Mystery because I don't think I've heard from Mystery just yet. But I want to say this. SKC, the reason why I think you're wrong and why you're getting so much pushback, I think you genuinely misunderstand the heart of the argument. And it's not as numerically sound as your math is. Your mathematical supposition is a true ism, but it's false in the grand scheme of things. And this is why. What we're arguing is that throughout history, the roles of men and women have been rigidly enforced, not necessarily because men are just stronger than women and we're going to bully them, but because we've, through observation, we've learned that collectively, women will make the kinds of decisions that will produce the same societal problems that you're railing against right now, where the hypersexuality. Listen, sexuality is a woman's superpower far more than it is a man's. Men can like manipulate the world to extract resources. We can kill some deer, we can mine some gold, we can build a fort. Women aren't really as prone to do that sort of thing, but they can get a man to do it through sexuality. It's their superpower. And men have learned over time that if we do not check the female sexual agency, it will actually lead to disastrous social consequences. Therefore, it's not that every individual woman is going to be some kind of raging slut, but if you let women off the hook, you're going to produce way more sluts than not. That being said, Mystery, welcome to the show. I don't know that I've heard from you yet. I wanted to move it to you. Mystery, mic check.
Yeah. I'm just catching up. Let me get a pass for right now.
All right, let me repeat what SKC
Well,
said.
can I say something? As like
wait, before you do,
Hold on,
Z, before you do, I just want to say this one thing, and I'll be quiet for 3 minutes. I promise. SKC is trying to save these hoes, and that's cool. We're talking about a man who has a channel called Commute. No. And I'm gonna explain to you why. Because it's part of the narcissism. It's part of the hubris of you thinking that you got a good girl. Look, you have an entire channel called Community Anthropology. You talk about the community. You call it the community. You have a thing about black people. Even now, you said black people can't count. You know why? Even if it's true or not, because you believe that people are creatures of habit, and you can study by patterns and culture what people will do. Now, we say that about men, but when it comes to women, we say all these bitches are hoes. You be like, no, not all women. This is some same whole shit, because it's every woman trying to sell sex, nigga. But every man ain't trying to do the same thing. It's a lot of men who don't have access. So the whole topic was that, man, dudes have players remorse because they getting girls, and you're like, oh, you can't fuck all the girls. When I had a dream about that, and you're right, I had a dream one day that I was in a field full of daisies, and all the daisies became girls, and all the girls became 18. And I woke up in that morning and I said, yo, a million girls turn 18 every day. I can't sleep with them all. I might as well find the one girl I like, because that's what men do. But the whole thing is that even with that being said, you're taking the girls off the hook, like, yo, because there's great women out here. They wouldn't be sluts if men. No, nigga. And I blame men, because men should choke them out instead of fighting other men over them. But your hubris of I got a good girl and there's good girls, that's some bullshit. You have the girl that men enforced the rules on, so it's socially irresponsible and probably economically irresponsible for her to be anything less than what you need her to be. But if you take away those restraints, your girls will be a busser.
Nah.
Great.
And
So
we
great.
are
So
here.
great.
I
So great.
tend to,
We
I
are
tend to
here
see
with
the
that.
whole. I tend to
So
see.
great.
I tend to side. I stand exactly where Dirty Folk stands in that observation. Like it's a huge
There you
cultural
go.
pressure. This is why I think a lot of guys decide to shop outside of the American market. SKC, I think I cut you off.
So
You wanted to respond.
so great, straw man.
I'm
I
going out to
appreciate
SKC. I got a
the straw
question.
man and everything, but at what point did I ever bring my wife into any of this?
Oh, damn it, SK. No,
Oh, come on, man.
Hold on. Wait.
I-
To be fair, we don't want to bring the man's family and the wife up. We don't want to make it personal about him if he chooses to not make it personal.
No, I'm
about
just
him.
That was
no.
my
It's
fault.
not. It's not.
I
It's
was
not
gonna-
even.
Yo,
It's not even
you-
about that. It's not even
You
about that at
and
all.
you and your boy brought your wife into it. I'm being quiet, but both of y'all did. Both of y'all was like, "Oh man, I had to meet the dad." He was
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
I mean, but all right.
y'all brought it." And I'm not
Okay,
talking
hold
about.
on.
I don't know your
Respond.
wife. I have no disrespect towards your wife, bro. But I'm saying it's the hubris of men. Even when we talk about, because the whole topic came up because of goddamn it,
And
sub.
and
And
the
the
other.
hubris of men to think that I got a good girl, so I'm a good man. I dealt with that my whole life. My dad married a black woman. I get it. Look, no, you still ain't shit. Because you got a girl don't mean you shit. You still ain't shit.
Okay.
SKC,
Okay.
no, you gotta give him the
I
floor
would like
now.
to. I would like to.
Yeah,
counter
look,
that.
go ahead,
I would-
SKC.
I
I'll
would-
hold my question, bro.
I
Go
would
ahead.
like to counter that. I would like to counter that.
No, Portia, if John wants to join the show, he's welcome. We're not going to go too much longer, but John said he wanted to hit the link. That's why I came and invited him. If John wants to come take the link, please let him know we're still going, and we let him join the panel if he wants to. Thanks for popping in, Portia, by the way.
Hey, before SKC go, I wanted to go ahead and do like a diatribe and like a dynamic, because this seems like a generational situation. It seems like the boomers, the dudes that enjoyed the hot of the sexual revolution are the biggest dirty macking, talking about, well, you gotta treat that woman right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like Steve Harvey's, if he he's the byproduct, but I don't think he really was a player, you know what I'm saying? But he's a boomer. And you know what boomers they do? Boom. Gen X's. I want to give y'all the credit of starting down the stretcher, bust down culture of yesteryear of the 80s, 90s, and early aughts. Along with older millennials. I know I kind of participated and kicked off a lot of bust down sessions, and I don't have no regrets because she was there, and she sometimes volunteered and offered.
Let me
that was a point.
Can I make a really quick rebuttal?
SKC, we left off on hubris.
Go
We're
ahead.
trying not to make it a personal argument, but we did leave off on a point of hubris.
I don't care if it goes to personal and all that other stuff. I mean, it is what it is, But I give the same reply that I gave to Taz years ago, Dirty. I'm not saying that I'm better, but I have made better decisions.
Boom.
Okay, look, and I was gonna be on mute, but I don't even know that's true. Look, culturally speaking, I'll give you that.
Results don't lie.
No. Results don't lie. Culturally speaking, I'll give you that, and this is why I'll give you that. I remember being 12 years old.
There's nothing else to be said.
No. There is.
I made better decisions.
No. Culturally speaking.
Not culturally speaking. Just
that's not
true.
True.
Better decisions.
That is not true. That's not true at all. 80% of men are awesome men. Y'all always judge black men by the bottom 20%, but judge white men and everybody else by the top 20%. That is not true. That individually, culturally, you made better decisions than any other man. Like individually, culturally, you did. I remember being 12 years old, and my grandmother told me, she was like, "You're smart, you're ambitious. Please marry a black woman, because I don't want to lose another good man to white women." And my grandmother set me up for failure. I should have had a white wife and moved to Rhode Island. But the whole thing is that you stepped outside the culture to find your bride. I'm not knocking you for it. I got a friend who married a Mexican. He told me in 2010, I'm too smart and too ambitious to be with a black woman. I need to find a Mexican.
But that's where your fault lies.
No.
That's where your fault lies.
No, that's not my fault. It's the fault of black women. They're horrible people.
No, let's hear the fault. I want to hear the fault, please.
Your fault lies. Your fault lies in that you think that was the like that was the reason for that. It's like, no, the idea of getting outside of the quote unquote culture, that branched off into a bunch of other things way before any sort of marriage thing came up. That had to do with just common sense, making good decisions of understanding. You know what? You got a bunch of people that are doing this. All of that stuff is going down to a broken road, a dead end.
But that's not
do not go that route.
That's not the conversation.
There's
the
other
conversation
people
was
that
about
are over
playing
here doing something totally different.
But
and
that's still
go over there, do the same do some of the similar things, or grow in this a totally different arena.
That is
has
still
nothing to do. That has nothing to do with women at all.
It has everything to do with the conversation we're having about women, because you're not unique in that at all. Not at fucking all. Let me explain something.
I'm not
to you, bro.
unique.
I know, and you didn't make better decisions than most people. Look,
yes, I did.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
You did. You didn't make better decisions
than most people.
Okay.
And that's the problem y'all have.
Okay.
You did. You did.
He made better decisions. Period. You niggas out here dodging Nestle Crunch dick. Getting some outhouse community pussy.
That all has no. I granted him the girl thing. He said it's not about the girl thing.
I'm not even talking about the girl thing.
So
that has nothing to do with.
So y'all didn't. No. You talk. Wait. Here's the thing. Because once again, I got to remind y'all. I named myself. Y'all got to remember that.
Y'all love y'all wild. Get
it. If I hadn't made the better decisions, the girl thing would have never happened.
No, it don't even matter, bro. Look,
exactly.
I've made phenomenal.
No.
I've made phenomenal decisions for my.
You got lucky. That's what happened.
Them things compounded on each other.
No.
Those decisions compounded. They were like good decisions. They were good decisions.
Wait.
Where are you? Tertiary.
Everything
like, what are we talking about?
No.
Everybody knows that you make some bad decisions. That a lot of that stuff compounds, and it closes doors.
Right. Yo, Chill. I talked about women. Chill said I literally said I listened to my granny. And I shouldn't have when it came to women.
Again, not saying that I'm better.
But my granny also told me that had to. No. My granny.
We all as men can sit up and state, you know what? Because we were talking about having a men conversation, right?
Right.
We as men, everybody here can say, as men, there are good decisions and there are bad decisions, and we know the difference between the two.
Okay, we do. I want.
All right, so some men make bad decisions.
Let me. Can I step in for a moment and speak to this decision making thing? And this is a personal thing. This is where I thread the needle here. On the one hand, we can make the big systemic argument about there are trends and waves and patterns and whatnot, right? But then when it gets down to the micro, there are decisions that I just simply didn't understand when I made them, and I made poor decisions.
Okay, even with that, I can't even say that. Nobody's perfect. We've all made decisions that we're flawed from. But here's my thing.
Is that I was young?
No, that's not. I was young. I'm saying nobody perfect. So there's times in which I should have gone left and I went right. But here's where I'm going with it. And this is a perfect discussion. It's on my channel. Y'all look at the Two Married Two Single playlist. It's on there. I'm talking to married black men. Look, I run a boys club, man, eligible for $5 million worth of grants a year. I publish 11 books. We got a sports league, man. Goddamn it, man. I got a dealer's license, bro. We driving the hottest cars for dealer's prices. I've done a lot of awesome things. I probably did some other stuff that I forgot because I do a lot of awesome stuff, right? And in the course of that, lived in different cities to the point that even Hood be like, yo, you should stay in South Dakota. But before South Dakota, I was in Iowa, all type of places. I said a tour of America. Right now, we're about to do a reparations tour in 26 states just so I can get some slaves. And I was on a show and I was talking about the awesomeness of me, the great decisions that I made. And a dude, a house husband nigga, told me that whatever I did, he had never listened to me because I'm not married to a black woman. His accomplishment is being married to a woman. And that is the matriarchal shit we fighting. So when I say that, bro, you can say you made great life decisions and I'll honor that. And I'll say that's not unique, though. Most people do. Most black men are very intelligent until you add a woman. Then they get dumb as shit. Like women make people stupid. But they know how to count and everything, bro. They got a budget and everything until they get a girl. The the woman you choose is probably the greatest decision that you can make in your life.
So
Right.
I guess they didn't want to protect their good decisions. So
Hold on, I feel like we monopolized a lot of time with this little discussion. I'm glad I wanted you guys to have it out, but we kind of fizzled it out a little bit right there. Dirty, I'm glad you made the point you made just now, and I think we kind of pushed the needle a little bit forward. But I want to move it to Z. We got a couple of people who haven't really spoken yet. Z, what's going on, bro?
What's up, y'all? Yeah, I noticed that I feel like a lot of this you guys actually kind of agree on. You're just kind of talking past each other with like the whole hubris thing. Because Dirty, you were saying, you know, it's about the culture that men impose on the women. That makes them pretty much stay in line. Which that's why I don't think it's the fault of man, but it is the accountability of man to hold the line. And I think that's what's happening with in American culture a lot right now. A lot of the young people, and I'm on the in between Gen X millennial. A lot of us are just not. We just won't accept these dirty bitches. And that's it. We don't have to divulge and get into, you know, having sex to please ourselves with different types of women and risk getting diseases and abortions and baby mamas and stuff like that. We just choose to opt out until it changes. And right now is a perfect time.
Real quick, Z. Real quick, I wanted to ask you, because you just said something I wanted to comment on. The idea that it's not really my fault that the system is the way it is. Like, I had no idea growing up that the dynamics between men and women were as stark as they were, right? That being said, it's still my responsibility to sort of, you know, make the right decisions in this environment regardless, right? What do you say to that?
No, yeah, I agree with that. And the reason I wanted to say something is because I'm noticing for the first time, it seems like since, you know, like the sexual revolution, all those old dudes, I was just talking to my uncle over Christmas. He's having problems with my auntie. And, you know, my auntie was a single mom when he found her and gave her two more of my cousins. And, you know, they're a good family. They've been together for a long time at this point, you know, 30 something years. But now they're having issues. And I was telling him, so me and my wife are getting, you know, a divorce right now. And, you know, I've been out there talking to girls and stuff like that. And I was telling him how when a girl told me she had a kid, I instantly felt disgusted, felt my dick shrivel up inside me. And I literally felt disgusted. I pretty much ended the conversation. He said, you know, your aunt was a single mom. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. She's a good woman, everything like that. But I just will not accept that. There's something inside of me I just can't accept, and that's what the culture is. That's what the culture we have to push is not say, "Oh yeah, these women are hoes, so I'm gonna fuck them because I gotta get mine." That's the losing. That's the matriarchy. The patriarchy is no. These women are gonna have our children and raise our families. That's the real patriarchy.
No.
And it feels like this is the first time we actually have momentum since that sexual revolution, where it seems like kind of the women and the free love and, you know, kind of just express yourself, and hedonism has been going haywire. And right now we're at the precipice where we're like, you know what, maybe we don't have to do that anymore. And I think that's what this whole conversation is kind of avoiding that, you know, making that decision of, hey, maybe we don't have to do that anymore, and we can apply this new cultural pressure.
Exactly, and you're right about that.
Hey, close Pandora's box.
I disagree with you.
Sigma Jones.
Okay.
Sigma, you there? Mic check, Sigma.
Hey, what's going on, gents?
What's good, bro? Yeah, sorry, it's a bit late into the discussion. We got sidetracked into some little arguments. What do you want to add to the table?
No, I mainly came up during the discussion Kid, SKC, and Dirty Folks was having. Because, like somebody said before me, you all are actually saying, you know, the facts and all. I think there's just some disagreements in between. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I consider myself a eugenist, because I feel like if you really want to fix society, you got to work on both ends. And both ends, I mean both male and female. Yes, we have all the documentations of what women do. And I do believe that certain women should not be allowed to breed. They should never be allowed to have children. But at the same time, there are some elements of what I call the rogue males, where they too have to be limited in how they breed as well. We can't have bad genetics taint the gene pool.
Well, that's the
I was
problem.
talking
Is
about
that idea.
listening to this Professor Dutton earlier speak about genetics and IQ and whatnot. And one of the things he was talking about, he was really talking about some of the curses of modernity, but he was talking about welfare as one of those things that sort of have it has a downward pressure on the people who hold a higher IQ in terms of reproduction, and it has an upward pressure on the people who hold a lower IQ in terms of reproduction. It creates all these modernity itself creates a lot of disincentives, but then welfare just sort of is one of those modern sociological phenomena that add to the disincentive.
Can I offer a bit of perspective?
Sure.
So I'm not a Darwinist by any means, but I would say this. I would say the reason why the community is in the place where it is right now is because a lot of the natural cliffs and off points where the dodo bird would have been eliminated out of existence, those things have been there's been bumper rails put in front of those natural pitfalls, like that would have maybe made it to where the community wouldn't have been the community of today. So, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're getting like into the weeds with IQ and genetic arguments and whatnot, but I do see the thread that you're pulling on that. And this is like to speak of IQ and eugenics and all that. It seems like we may have another modern phenomenon, which is most of the bad genetics would have just sort of died away. It would have removed itself from the table. So now we got we have a glutton of bad genetics in the gene pool, and so now it's like you got to sort through that as well, on top of all the social pressures and whatnot. Fitness Journal, I think I heard you trying to chime in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I agree with them. That is 100%, and it is like we already know this, right? We've been over this 100 times, right? Black women don't find intelligence attractive in men, and that was Dark Ghetto. That was written in what, the 40s, 20s. We know this. So ever since
More like the
welfare came in,
1890s, 1880s.
yeah, ever since welfare came in, that they've been breeding for um, adoption of female authority, right? Men who acquiesce to female authority, men who are of dumb, right? High testosterone and low impulse control, right? And if you somehow manage to have impulse control, a high IQ, it's like you don't fit in there, right? You're like, I don't want to do this. Like, I gotta go. So now you have black men who are like probably like the most group of intermarried men, most likely. So that's why you have it, man. That's why you have these large, like I go over it on my show. You have these large swaths of cities that are just community. This is petri dish that produces, all the negative aspects.
Yeah, and
I've been joking
much of
about
it.
this thing called the longhouse lately, and then I think it kind of you reminded me of something. This is where some of the like the disagreement and like the resentment on panels and whatnot pops up, where it's like, don't blame me because I was born into the longhouse and I couldn't like succeed automatically. Just 'cause some guys do, and that's cool, but like not everybody does. Like it's not my fault I was born into this shit. It's crazy here, and I couldn't figure it out immediately.
Right.
I
Yeah, but once
even disagree that it's not even about IQ. To be honest with you, I think it's about the ability to think rationally. I think that's the whole point of like red pill is looking at things from a rational aspect. Uh, when you have the culture that has that safety net, there is a degree of rationality that comes in. Like there's a video of a woman who explains Hope Man, where she was talking about the difference between having 5 kids by one guy and having 5 kids by 5 different guys, right? And it sounded crazy, but it had a huge degree of rationale to her logic. even though she was holding it up, and it's because of the laws in place that allow her to get away with such a thing. So, in my opinion, it has more to do with I forgot what it's called.
I'm on mute now, nigga. I can talk to y'all now, nigga. I hear you.
Well, why you ain't talking?
The TFM talk about it's an economic principle called rational something, where
Rational actor.
it's basically you don't get a Ferrari because you don't have the money to have a Ferrari, and that's what stops you from even like stepping on a Ferrari dealership because of the rationale of what it takes to actually own a Ferrari, right? Otherwise, we all just doing what we want. But when we lower those costs and spread that accountability out to other people, then that's when we have the issues we have now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that kind of goes into my thing of like the natural guardrails that I think that we don't have anymore, which now we have unnatural guardrails where, like, you know, the welfare system is what kept up the community. It's like the how do you say it? It's the reason why, and I don't think welfare is the only thing. Again, it's a cultural thing because it's not about the money, but it's about the incentive structure.
The
And so,
economics.
yeah, it's about that. But like even within, I'm gonna quote my own family of like, let's say like, my grandfather had 3 daughters. Out of the 3, all 3 married, but only one still has a successful relationship. And I would say it's a cultural thing because all the different cultural factors that played into it, like the Oprah, the feminism, and not even just that, but like even the bad choices and ain't shit niggas they maybe have chose and all that stuff, even though there were better people out there like the Carlton types that they had the opportunity to get but didn't do. You know what I mean? Like that was like the beginning of the end, which was like from what I saw was like the 90s era of when it really set in. But go ahead.
Well, I want to ask you of those daughters that were divorced, how many of those divorces were due to no fault divorce? No fault.
None of them. One was because she chose the wrong man. The dude didn't even graduate middle school, but was like a rapper, you know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he dropped out of like middle school.
I don't understand dropping out of high school, college.
No. Even though he dropped out of middle school, he's a rapper. What did he do to cause a divorce? Did he abuse her?
No, I mean it comes down to like my aunt or whatever who I'm talking about. Her father was a professional athlete, and none of the men who she decided to choose could amount up to what her father would be, and so there's no respect there, and thus creation of the community.
Can I
woman choose?
That sounds like rebellion, honestly.
Wait. It does, but it also sounds like community. Look, I have a cousin like that. Matter of fact, my cousin is known. You can Google her, right? Her name is Cicely Flanagan. And the only reason I say Google her is because she the goofy bitch in Chicago area talking about we're gonna give reparations to blacks, but it ain't reparations. It's just a tax break for your property tax. But anyway, look. You're talking about your aunt's dad was a professional athlete and she couldn't find a man to match up, so she didn't even try to get close. She just got a felon 3rd grade dropout.
Yeah, let's say my grandfather. Yeah,
I got you.
Okay,
my cousin, who's a year younger than me, I've known her my whole life. Sleepovers, everything. She slept with every drug dealer, card cracker, car thief in high school. Went to college, an all black college. She went to Johnson C. Smith University in Charleston, North Carolina. For 5 years, couldn't find a man there. Came home immediately, goddamn it, fucking more dope dealers and more car thieves. I went to her crib one time. She had a cartel member in there. But when she decided to get married, she found the brokest white dude she could find that was in college eating ramen noodles. Like, it's gonna be the man for me. And he's a good dude. I like Andrew. That's why her last name Flanagan, which is a Scottish last name, because they ain't her maiden last name. And I like her husband, Andrew. Andrew cool. But the point is that they don't see black men as men, kind of like SKC. You don't see black men as men, you see them as black and think that they're less than, and every
Well,
other man is a real man.
well, what I
So what happens is, no, I'm with you. So what happens is, and white girls see it too. The only difference between white women and black women is all white women and black women see black men as pets, but white women at least take care of their pets.
yeah,
That's the only difference.
but the fallacy I was gonna offer that was like the ultimate reason why 1 out of 3 stayed married is because my grandfather and my grandmother had the opinion that, oh, we should let them make their own mistakes and we shouldn't choose their relationships for them and we shouldn't button their relationships. Which is why I said in the beginning, I was like, in order to get to my wife, I had to court my wife and then go to her father and have this whole cultural thing where I got to bring like 4 men in my life who've been in my life who can vouch for me of my character. Whereas for my aunts, my granddad just kind of said, have at it. Good luck.
I would like to speak on that
What
a
I
little
was
bit
getting at, what I
because
was getting at was
Well,
when she
women.
divorced her, when your aunt
Oh, yeah,
divorced
real
her
quick,
husband.
Mister, you got it. You were saying?
What I was trying to get at was your aunts, did they divorce outside of no fault divorce? Because outside of no fault divorce, which is why the women in Florida are freaking out right now, you have to prove that your husband was like cruel, abusive, and all this other stuff. That's what I was trying to get at. Because
Mm-hmm.
no fault divorce is the avoidance of accountability, which is in the wheelhouse of most women, period. Is to avoid
Right.
that accountability.
Right. No, I mean, in the time when they got the divorce or whatever, it must have been like late 90s, early 2000s. And it just came down to like you're dating a rapper before like independent rappers were like a big thing and where they actually had like a bunch of money behind them, you know what I mean? And so she basically got with a broke dude who was, I mean, he dropped out in middle school and instantly started having kids. And like, she wasn't even the first baby mama of the litter. Well, technically she's not a baby mama because she got married, but she wasn't the first, you know what I mean? So it's like the decision making, if you, and I here I am leaning into my misogyny. If you let women decide without the guidance of a man, which was my grandfather, which I confronted him on this because I was like, granddad, only 1 out of the 3 daughters stayed married. And I'm like, why do you think that is? And he's like, well, they made their own decisions. And I'm like, you
And that's the problem. They made their own decision. And they made the
Correct.
decision to get out of that marriage.
Exactly.
Correct.
Well, I think
That is the problem.
one of the
That is
major lines that we've sort of revealed tonight in this conversation is like a lot of us men really think that as a class, men having some authoritative position over the women in our families is key. That being said, I want to introduce something that hasn't come up yet, and I want to kick it to SKC because I want to close this down soon, but I want to bring this last subject up because I don't think it's been really broached just yet, and I want SKC to sort of kick this off. But SKC, in all this conversation that we've had, I don't know if the issue of class has come up yet. If you remember a few years maybe ago, it's been a while now, we had this conversation, and I actually titled the stream "The Class War Pill." You familiar with that? It was a conversation you and I had. I think it was a one-on-one conversation all the way through. And
yeah, I remember it vividly.
And I sort of, it was a new concept for me at the time, but I was just recently kind of putting the dots together how the laws and social currents of feminism are effectively a class war against the men of the middle and lower classes. It effectively cuts off social upward mobility for a lot of reasons. And I was laying that argument out to you, during that conversation we had way back when. And I wanted to ask you, how do you think the class issue sort of affects the conversations, the points that were brought up tonight?
See, and it's almost like a bit of a catch-22 situation with that one, Hood, because if I don't tread carefully, then Friedman's Journal is going to jump out, and Sigrid Jones is going to jump out of the woodwork, and they're going to say, "See, lean into being elite in all of that stuff." And
No, just the classes, not an elitist.
Yeah, and I am not an elitist. No, not going to ever
Well,
be
I think
that.
the issues are related, but you answer as you see fit.
But I understand how people can make that that jump. But I will say, so far as the class situation, yeah, it does play a significant role, and to use a different analogy to explain it, to kind of paint around the plate of that Hood, it's similar to back in the day when I used to have conversations with people when they were having the educated lane versus the Pookie and Ray Ray conversation, and all of a sudden you would have these dudes that would show up and say, "Oh yeah, no, I'm a nerd too. I know this, I know that, such and blah." And it's like, no, you're not. There's no way that you have all of the stories of all of the things out in the street, all of the women that was being ran, all of that stuff, and then at the same time have all of the knowledge of the quote unquote nerd too. It's a give and take.
How is that not possible, bro? I'll do it.
And people act as if that there's some sort of hybrid, and there's just not enough time.
No, bro. Do you know the education system only works between birth and 10 years old, right? Like, so to be educated is just a retention of knowledge. To be, I'm not even. Here's the thing, because I understand what I do, right? Because I don't care about you colors. I market myself for white people because they love game bangers, but.
There's just not enough time.
No, it doesn't matter because everybody want to be slaves anyway. Here's an argument that this is when you talk. This is what I hear, and I know I'm not wrong, but I could be wrong, but I'm not. You have even though you don't do it for women, you do what everybody does, right? You look at people based on cultural patterns and you say, yo, these type of people do this type of thing. So I can assume that Mexicans sell tacos and fix roofs and hang out in front of Home Depot. I can assume that Asians
that's not true. That's not even close to what I do.
You do it all the time. What do you mean it's not close? That's a whole community thing. But the community is based on women.
Not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Look, and that's what I'm saying is there's a lot of nuance in it. I'm not trying to argue back and forth.
I'm not arguing with you. You said it's not what you do. Okay, I respect that's not what you do.
But I would say this: it's easy to defeat SKC if you strawman them.
I'm not strawmanning you. You strawman colors, and I do too. That's why I always say black is for women, gays, and
I'm not strawmanning. I'm not strawmanning.
You do all the time.
No,
all the time. You do. You don't know you do it. That's crazy if you don't know you do it.
With what?
This somehow veered into a personal.
It's not a personal thing. It's not a personal thing. I was talking about patterns, and he was like, "I don't judge people on patterns." The fuck you don't. But I call them colors. I do it by pattern. But
okay, just really quickly, just to clear this up really quickly, dirty folks. A lot of other people have watched my content here. Have I ever stated that black people, that all black people, blah 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 blah? Has anybody heard me make a broad statement concerning all black people?
Yes, but you call it community. No, you call it community. You call it community. But okay.
Does the community entail every person that is black?
No.
Okay, so I
I
don't
think
make those
that
broke.
goes back to the class argument that I just raised.
It goes back to the class argument.
So going
Right.
back to the whole
It goes
class
back to, okay.
argument thing,
So let,
what I was stating, Hood, again, when you go into the whole class argument thing, that's why I was stating, it gets kind of touchy because the whole elitism thing comes into play. But
so what did takes class? I got a question. What did takes class?
But one of the things that comes up is that you want to have people that that don't want to balance the very basic logical equation. Hood, take for instance, it would be insane for me, Hood, to come to you and tell you, yeah, I know all things about the street or getting by doing this and that, when you know I have no knowledge on that whatsoever, because one, I didn't have the time to do it based upon doing other stuff. But then the opposite comes in when you have people that'll say, oh yeah, I know all about the insides of what goes on in the world of people like SKC and so forth. And like, no, you don't. You didn't have the time.
How come you didn't? It's 24 hours in a day. You don't play PlayStation.
And this is what I mean.
It's possible because
no one that knows SKC's life would come up with the Marriott Secretary program.
You know, the chiseled jaw, the height, and all that, but are nerdy at the same time.
Somebody said something about making it.
Freeman, you were trying to say something a second ago.
Yeah, I said no one that knows the inner workings of an SKC in their life is going to create the Marriott Secretary program. It's just totally unrealistic.
Why not?
No one wants to be king of the ghetto or king of the quiches.
Why would you be king of the ghetto or king of the quiches if you marry your secretary? If you're looking at the pattern of what's going on, and you say, yo, no. What makes you think that the program is for black people? See, that's what I'm talking about, the colorism shit. Anytime black people do something, it's ghetto. Anytime white people do something, it's awesome. But if white people do what black people do,
really?
black people say, yeah, because hold on.
To what other audience have you advertised that?
You do know I run commercials, right? Just because you haven't seen my commercials, because I haven't run it in your targeted demographic.
Show me the commercial.
The commercials on all my shows. Subscribe to the channel. I got soap commercials. I got Marriott Secretary commercials. I got commercials for my book. Like I got commercials, bro. Fuck you mean? The whole point of me is creating a channel so I didn't have to pay $1,000 to a marketing group, because all they do was make sure you got 1,000 subscribers in order to run your ads on YouTube. I say, well, man, I'm gonna start my own channel, get 1,000 subs, and I can run my commercials for like 60 cents a person. Like, because that's business. Now, the fact that you're black and I have a black audience, that doesn't mean that I don't run my commercials. How many times? Well, you don't watch my channel. People that watch my channel see all the breaks. I'll be like, oh, let me take a break. And then I drop a Dirty Folks commercial, or I'll drop a commercial about a book, and it'd be some girl in the jacuzzi, or I'll drop a commercial about the Marriott Secretary program, which be all anime. Like, bro, fuck you mean? I don't even care about you colors. Everything I do is for white people. I just like hood. I don't like y'all. Look, everything I do is because I understand that Snoop is doing the show with Martha Stewart. I know it sells to white people, and it's to keep it real shit. I see the white guys throwing up pitchforks at white weddings. So I'm like, okay, that's the market. And I'll market what I have in order to achieve the goal that I'm looking for. I don't give a fuck about y'all. Y'all don't support black people anyway. The Marriott Secretary program is based on that women are more loyal to her employer than her husband.
Facts.
Yeah. So I'm like, cool, let me show you how to be the employer of your girlfriend. That's not a race thing. That's a man thing. I don't even call
you
myself.
might as well become a spiritual advisor too, because they won't fuck their pastor. So you might as well become a spiritual advisor.
Pastor get money though.
I'm adding that to the collective on my course.
Quick show of hands on the panel. Who thinks that Dirty Folks indeed can know the inner workings of SKC's life?
I don't have to know the inner workings of SKC's life, because I don't hang out with SKC to say I don't know the inner workings. I have videos on my channel of me and my boy Conso eating chili with the mayor, me goddamn it at concerts with the alderman, me being goddamn it cool friends with the black Republicans.
What does that mean?
No, because the whole thing is like, yo, You think that y'all think I'm hood. I just grew up in the hood.
No one
Y'all
said
think
that.
I'm- yeah,
No one
know
even
what
said
I'm saying?
that.
That's why the fuck he's saying that, man. Y'all, who does that for anything but colors? Y'all, I named myself. I don't know what the fuck y'all thought who named me. I did this shit for a purpose.
But we call you dirty folks. We don't call you ghetto folks.
Yo,
What does that even mean?
okay. So dirty folks is a double entendre, right? If you're not from Chicago, you like, yo, you dirty, you need soap. In Chicago, dirty folks is an insult to GDs. So and Mr. O knows this, right? So it's a double entendre. If you gangbang anywhere in America, you like, yo, I fuck with him. He one of the guys. If you don't, you like, yo, I fuck with him because he got a service and not, yo, I don't want to smell. Everything I do is for a purpose. It's way easier to dumb down than it is to act smart. But it's easier to act smart too, because y'all white girl intellectuals, which means all you gotta do is be articulate. You speak so well, people think you're smart. You're not smart, you're just articulate. But it's a lot easier to know how to enter. And you act like I ain't know how many stories I told about my college experience, right? So it's a lot easier to say that, man, I'm a college graduate who hangs out with intellectuals at the poetry slams at City Hall, but that's not something that the average quote unquote black does. And y'all want to put me in a box, and I'm cool with that because I'll market that box. But at some point, it becomes kind of disrespectful.
I say this real quick.
Well,
man.
hold on, SKC. Before you jump in, hold on. Let me do this. And I'm glad you ended on that point of like not having the average experience, dirty folks, because we really have to. I have to wrap this up, and I can't really let this argument extend as long as it would go, because you know how these things, we can do this all night. But I really have to wrap this up. So I want to drop everybody down right now, and I want SKC to sort of give us a closer, and I'm gonna wrap this whole thing up. But that argument about not having the average experience, it actually kind of ties back around to the whole argument I was making about players' regret. It's totally different points. It's not related really at all. But there is that one through line about the average experience, and I think the average with different classes of black people, just it's obvious there's a different average with different groups of black people. That being said, because we were having this whole class argument and it spiraled out, but SKC, I wanted you to give some closing thoughts, and then we're gonna shut this thing down. And thanks for actually hosting this conversation on my show. We was gonna do this on yours, and I know we had conversation about that in the background, but closing thoughts, SKC.
Yeah, man. I mean, thanks for hosting it and everything. Like I stated, I knew that you were kind of theorizing this thing, and I wanted to, like I said, I am definitely gonna write on this, and as soon as you have it finished, I'll forward the Substack to you so you can take a look at it. But yeah, I wanted to see, kind of flesh the idea out a little bit more with you, and see some of the finer points of it, or even holes that you may recognize, and all of that. Hopefully in the future you'll kind of have people up and kind of play with it in the marketplace of ideas and see how that goes. I'm curious, but I mean, overall, yeah, I'm just thankful for just having a conversation. To clear the matter up, though, I do not have anything against dirty folks. I don't. I don't. So it's not a personal thing. So I just want to throw that out there. I do not look down on anybody. I don't. So yeah. So I guess that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you for this conversation, and like I said, it just got these things happen, and conversations go into weird places sometimes. It's best not to like carry it all on your shoulders and wear these things on your sleeves, as they say, But I think it's been a relatively productive conversation all in all. We got to some interesting points through the night, and I thank you for joining the show tonight, SKC, and I thank everybody for joining the panel. We were just having a pretty sort of from my end anyway, you were asking me questions that required me to actually stop and try to think and formulate answers. So I didn't get to like shill or anything like that. And so anyway, likewise, I always say support us over on Rumble. If you guys want to support the show directly, you can follow us on Rumble. You can find me directly on the Hoodservative at Venmo. That being said, we're gonna get this one in the can. Thank you once again, SKC, for bringing this whole conversation over here. We're going to wrap this one up for the night. And I suspect we'll bring points of this conversation up at later points on other panels, but tonight is pretty much over. SKC, I will talk to you later. It's always a pleasure. And thanks to everybody for watching. You guys have a great night. We are done with this one.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.